Hi, welcome to my kitchen. I'm Chef Jim Shannon. On my beautiful summer day off, I'll be hanging around the house with my family and we'll be making a few different types of barbecue sauce. I'm going to start this sauce today. I have a couple of medium-sized onions. So what you want to do with these onions is you want to make them a very small dice because you want them to be able to be incorporated into the sauce as evenly as possible. So we're just going to take this skin off here and get rid of that. Get rid of this here. And so we're going to just start slicing this sideways so we can get this as small as possible. So when we get these into the pot, we're going to cook these like a medium heat, and then they'll cook quickly. And you want to get them small, so actually when it's in the barbecue sauce, it'll coat whatever meat or whatever it is you're barbecuing. So I have these couple of onions ready to go, and then we're going to get our pot hot over here. So you really want to heat up your pot first before you put the oil in, because if you put the oil into a cold pot and you start heating it up, by the time the oil is hot, it'll burn the oil a little bit. So that's why we're doing it that way. So I'm going to slice another onion here while we're waiting for that to heat. Just want to get rid of any skin. Usually the first or second layer has a little bit of tough outside part. We want to get rid of all that because this is actually really going to be into the sauce. And so we'll have these 2 onions. We're going to do the same thing. You slice it from the side, just a few slices. If you have a very sharp knife, that'll help with your eyes burning. If you try to do this with a dull knife, it'll actually squeeze the onion and the gases and things like that will come out, and that's what makes your eyes water. But if your knife is very sharp, that'll help a lot with that. Some people put the onions in cold water, they think that helps, but really the best way to do it is just make sure your knife is very sharp. That's really going to help a lot. So you want everything as evenly as possible. If you get a little piece of skin in there, just pull that out. Get rid of my garbage here. So the pot is really, it's like on a medium-high heat. I'm going to add about 2, maybe 3 ounces of oil. And you can see, you'll see just little vapors coming off the oil. If there's a little tiny bit of water in it, you'll hear that crackling and popping. So, but you don't want the oil smoking. You want it like a light smoke, how it is right there. Then you're going to add the onions. If you hear that sound, you know that you got a good temperature. If it's like a really loud sound, it might be a little bit too hot, but it's just like a light sound there. For this type of sauce, you really don't want to brown your onions. You just want to cook them till they're translucent. You'll see the onions, and you can kind of see through them a little bit. So then you'll know you're ready with the onions. If you brown them, it can make it a little bit bitter, but you really need to cook the onions to bring out all these natural sugars. So then that's just about going where I want it. And I'm going to add a couple of tablespoons of fresh chopped garlic. Really make sure you use fresh garlic because it's garlic powder just really doesn't do it. You could buy garlic cloves from your store. That's what I do, is I buy the garlic cloves from the store, and I just put it in like a food processor, and then I put it with a little extra virgin olive oil, and that'll keep for weeks. So it's ready to go. You really want to cook your garlic as well. Just give it a little bit more heat. You can really start to smell the onions, and you can smell the garlic starting to come out. You can see the onions are really starting to turn that clear sort of color. Some people will take their onions and things like that and they'll put it in a food processor, but that's really not the best way to do it. You can actually liquefy the onions, and when you put it in here, they really won't cook properly because so much liquid will come out of the onions. And you really don't want that. Once you put that liquid in there, boiling point is 212 degrees. And when it's liquid, it will never get hotter than that, and it won't cook properly. You won't develop all the sugars. So, and when we're talking about barbecue sauce, it's basically a sweet and sour sauce. So there's going to be lemon, there's going to be sugar, there's going to be some sort of tomato product, ketchup. Then you're going to put in whatever different kinds of seasonings, herbs, whatever really is seasonal. Today, like I mentioned, we're going to make a few different types. I'm going to do a whiskey. This is a bourbon whiskey. Whatever you have in the house you can use. I can take this bourbon whiskey, I can add a little coffee. So that's one of them that we'll be doing. And this is about ready to go. So I'm going to take, this is about a cup of sugar, of brown sugar. So I'll add the sugar to that. And then you want to just stir that in a little bit, and you'll see the sugar will break down almost to like a syrup. If there's any lumps or anything in the sugar, that'll also take care of that. This is about a half cup of chili powder. This is a dark ancho chili powder, so I'm going to add that. Going to mix that in. So as you can see, it'll look like a dark syrup at this point, and then it starts to boil. You really smell the chili now. You can smell the garlic, the onions. You can smell all that stuff coming together now. And then I'm going to add about a half cup of Worcestershire sauce. If you can't pronounce Worcestershire sauce, you can say Worcestershire sauce, and then people will just laugh and they won't know you can't pronounce it. So we're also going to add some fresh black pepper. Another few turns. This would probably be about maybe a teaspoon. And this is a couple of teaspoons of kosher salt we're going to add to that. So put that in there, and you'll see the liquid now. It's really like a liquid. Just going to cook that for a minute or so, just to make sure all the ingredients are blended. And then you're just going to add some ketchup to that. So this is a 44-ounce bottle of ketchup. So I'm going to add that full bottle. We're going to make a lot because, as I said, this is a base. And, you know, I like to make the base and then make the other barbecue sauces from that. You know, these are great because you can do this base. You can make barbecue sauces for people that you know and you know what they like. So if you have somebody that likes peaches, like my daughter likes peaches, we'll make a peach barbecue sauce. So you try to do things that are local things that are seasonal, things that are fresh. So like I said, my daughter likes peaches, so we're gonna do a peach and ginger barbecue sauce. That will be one of them. She's gonna go on to college in a couple of weeks, so we'll make all this barbecue sauce up and pack it up for her, and she can take it to school, and she can make some quick meals at school. It's also great for gifts. Like I do different types of barbecue sauce for Christmas for my family and friends and things like that. You know, guys that like to drink, they get the bourbon. You know, just whatever you know what your friends and family like, so you're gonna give them what suits their taste. So I added another half of this bottle, so that's a 44-ounce bottle. So 44 and 22 is 36, so it's just about a quart of ketchup. So that's basically it for the basic barbecue sauce. You know, people will go to the store and they'll buy barbecue sauce, but this is so easy to do, and it's so much better than what you're going to buy in a bottle. And then also you can take it, you can put it in jars, and it'll last for weeks. And also people know that you're making your own barbecue sauce. You know, it'll make everybody very happy to know that you're doing your own barbecue sauce. So that'll just sit for maybe 15-20 minutes, and it's done. So that's the basic barbecue sauce. And then from that, as I said, we can do, oh, sorry, one last thing. Forgot to add the lemon. Don't forget to add the lemon. So it's just one lemon there. So that's, as I mentioned before, it's sort of like a sweet and sour, so that's the sour component. You can add different types of vinegars. As far as the sweet component, you can add different types of sugars. I used brown sugar today. You can use honey. There's sometimes people will get like local honey, or people will have their own bees and they'll do their own honey. So that's really nice. Again, for the peach barbecue sauce, we're also gonna do a little bit of molasses in that. So that's another sweet component. Okay.